So this experiment didn't work out, which makes this video less interesting than I hoped it would be, but still worth watching. I want to use this automatic cap shoe that I built to annoy squirrels on the patio, so I put it all on a stand with the stepper drivers and the Raspberry Pi behind it and the camera right above. And right now the software is set up so that it shoots at something that it sees that is dark, and only after it stopped moving, because I want to be able to nail the squirrels when they're sitting there to feed. So to test this, I've got a sock with a string on it, and let's throw that into the field of view. And it's aiming at it, and I'll keep moving that. And this keeps following, and now I'm going to stop moving it. And it missed. Now it only shoots at the same spot once, so now if I move the sock, it'll reshoot at it, so to say. Move it again. So it's not entirely accurate, but I figure it should be enough to scare the squirrels at least a little bit. Let's try this from a camera's point of view. I'll just put the camera down. Camera looking at the thing. I've got my cap shooter propped up on some milk crates on the patio, and I've got a sock on a string here, so let's toss that in the field of view. Oh, got it. Let's move the sock a bit. A little bit closer. Nailed it. Excellent. Nailed it again. Okay, I think my aim is good. And after nothing happening for a while, this should get back to home position. So now I just need to deactivate this thing before I load it again. Now, as much as I'd like to be standing here and film the action with a camera, I don't really want to wait around all day for the squirrel to show up. Hopefully show up before it rains. So I've got another Raspberry Pi with a camera module filming continuously, and it only saves the footage if there's actually motion. And now I just got to give the squirrels some enticement to show up. So I'm going to spread a little bit of cereal here. So a squirrel showed up pretty soon after I set it up. It's just I hadn't noticed that until I reviewed the footage later. I haven't checked for a while, but I just noticed this thing is... Oh! It's false triggering on stuff. That's why it's low on ammo. Bummer. Doesn't seem to like the sunshine so much. Maybe it's just the light falling on the lens is causing flare or something like that. Yep, that's the problem. Okay, got it loaded again, and a sock above this lens, because this lens being a super wide lens, it was too easy to get sunlight in there, and that would cause lens flare, and that would cause false triggers. After adding the shade sock, I left it sitting there for the rest of the day, and there was the occasional bird that showed up, but the thing was never fast enough to actually nail them. The birds seem to be reacting awfully fast to the machine trying to aim at them, and I think what's happening is they can hear the PWM of the motors, because small creatures can hear much higher than we can, and the PWM is always just out of the audible range so that it's not annoying to us. Well, my machine is jealously guarding the bit of cereal I put down. I just need that squirrel to come back. But instead of the squirrel, it was the kids that came back home. And I thought it'd be cool if the machine accidentally nailed one of the kids, but Rachel wasn't so fond of that concept, and the kids would have kept the squirrels from coming back anyways. So that was it for the experiment for that day, and the forecast for overnight was rain. So my first thought was to wait for good weather again and set it up again and modify the software so the gun moves and loads very slowly, not to scare away the squirrel. But realizing that the squirrel can probably hear the PWM sound of the motors, that means no matter how slowly I turn the motor, the squirrel will still hear it and probably get scared away by it. And given that the squirrel only came by once, even if I could make my gun not scare the squirrel until it shoots, the odds of getting good footage, which would take more than one try, was pretty slim. So eventually I just gave up on it and decided to make a fail video on it instead. The footage that you saw, that was shot over a month ago.